Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. Just post the topic here. Will Smith smack pen? Good afternoon. Happy Monday to everybody. I hope everybody's doing amazing. Got some people joining here. Just pinned the topic and I didn't spell it right. So let me unpin this. See if I can do it again. Let's see. Will Smith smack post? Great. Well, as the entire world has seen, and if you live under a rock, not to be confused with Chris Rock, you may have heard that Will Smith smacked Chris Rock at the Oscars last night. And it was not just a smack, it was an assault, followed by a verbal reprimand, if you want to call it that, cussing out Chris Rock. Pretty intense emotional scene, and I haven't seen too many lawyers talking about this, so I thought I'd just give everybody a quick and dirty of what's going on, but also talk about it in terms of the professionalism message and the dichotomy of Hollywood and the kinds of things that we allow almost without any recourse just because it's Hollywood, right? And just because we're talking about famous people. So quick recap, last night's Oscars, Chris Rock makes a joke about Will Smith's wife, Jada's hair. She has alopecia, she has a condition, she loses her hair, it's an immune issue, cancer can cause it as well, etc. Jada's been very public about her concerns with this and how embarrassing and how difficult it's been for her being an actress herself and in the public eye. And so Chris Rock, being Chris Rock, made a joke about it, basically calling her a G.I. Joe figure or G.I. Joe character, referencing the buzzed head. That didn't sit too well with Will Smith, as everybody saw, and I counted it. It is no less than about 3 seconds after Will Smith actually laughs on camera. So you see Chris Rock, he makes a joke about G.I. Jane Part 2, camera pans, and you can just see Jada's eyes roll up in her head. Like, oh my God, I can't believe this. Will Smith, on the other hand, is laughing. So clearly he thought it was funny. Then he looked at his wife and he saw her disdain and discomfort. And he said, you know what, I'm going to do something about this. And let me just say this. If you've ever been to a live event with even 1,000 people, never mind 5,000 or more, never mind being broadcasted in front of millions of people, it takes a lot to get out of your chair, get up on stage, and do or say anything, period. So you can imagine what kind of emotions are going through Will Smith when this is happening. Nevertheless, Will Smith decides that he's going to storm the stage and smacks Chris Rock, right? We've all seen it. If you haven't seen it, go and watch it. It's about 1.5 minutes. And then he proceeds to tell Chris Rock to leave his wife's effing name out of his mouth. Very, very serious, very, very emotional. There is no question at all that this is serious. A lot of people are questioning whether this is fake or staged. It's absolutely not staged. It makes no sense that it would be staged. What do they have to gain from it? The guy just won an Oscar. Everybody knows Will Smith. Everybody knows Chris Rock. There's just no incentive to stage it or get ratings. It doesn't make a lot of sense. You wouldn't lose self-respect for ratings. I guess maybe some people would. Anyhow, the point is, first question that people have been asking me, is this an assault? And it is 100% an assault. It is 100% a crime. It's also a civil tort. And 100% Chris Rock could sue for it. Now, the latest that I heard was that Chris Rock is not going to press charges. The LAPD confirmed this a few hours ago. More than that, Will Smith apologized about an hour ago on Instagram, tagging Chris Rock in a public apology. which I think we appreciate the apology, but he could have apologized the night of. He kind of did this rambling sort of apology to the Academy at the Oscars, but he definitely didn't apologize expressly to Chris Rock. And so he reserved that for Instagram today. And I'm sure he got a lot of pressure and a lot of backlash from his PR agent and publicist to go and apologize. Bottom line, it is 100% an assault, 100% unprovoked. The fact that it was a joke about his wife does not change anything about that. The fact that it was meant in the slightest changes nothing. It is an assault, period. End of the discussion. Chris Rock would have every right to sue for damages even now if he doesn't pursue it criminally. He could certainly still pursue it criminally, although the latest today is that he's not, as confirmed by the LAPD. But there's a deeper question here. The deeper question is, was it the right thing to do? And what should a professional do? Now, Hollywood is full of professional actors. Will Smith is a professional actor. Chris Rock is a professional actor / comedian. Is what he did justified? Is what he did right? My position is 100% wrong. Will Smith acted out of passion, out of rage. It was absolutely crazy thing to do. Get up on stage and smack the guy in the mic. You know, he could have easily waited till a break and gone off camera and talked to Chris and said whatever he wanted to Chris. Demanded an apology. In fact, there was a chance that Chris Rock would have apologized in front of everybody for making a joke and could have turned this around completely, but he didn't do that. He physically attacked him, and there's just no place for something like that, particularly at an Academy Award, particularly while it's being televised, and you knowing that this is a comedian. Again, joke was bad. It was in bad taste. No question about it. But it does not justify a physical assault, period. Which takes me to my second point, the difference between an amateur and a professional. As a lawyer, we are taught to always maintain composure, whether it's in a deposition, at trial, at a hearing, at oral argument, clients in front of you, opposing counsels in front of you, irrelevant. As a lawyer, you are always a lawyer, and you are bound by the professional duties of professionalism, the ethical rules. A lawyer hits somebody, automatically the guy's going to jail, or a girl for that matter, right? No one's getting a free pass here. So why are we giving Will Smith a free pass? I love Will Smith. I've been watching him since Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Still deeply unjustified. The other thing that it kind of shows you is Will followed his animal instinct. His animal instinct was to defend his wife. And I understand that. I understand that he had this instinct to say, I'm watching my wife feel hurt and publicly humiliated for that comment. Still didn't justify getting up and smacking Chris Rock. And let me give you an analogy. Anybody who watches professional basketball, the NBA, or even in the NFL, does every play result in a physical altercation, an assault? Absolutely not. How many times has Michael Jordan been ejected from a game for hitting somebody? Or for that matter, Kobe Bryant, or for that matter, LeBron James. I think LeBron James just recently maybe got an ejection. The point is, it's extremely, extremely rare. And that is in games that are already physical, where a championship is on the line. You might be fighting your arch nemesis, and it's very, very physical. You'll take an elbow to the face, elbow to the nose, but your job is not to have a fist fight. Your job is to win. And what comes to mind is Tim Grover. Tim Grover, if you're a Tim Grover fan like I am, in his book Relentless and in Winning, he talks about being a closer. Will Smith did not personify being a closer. He identified with being emotional, being reactive, and really just being barbaric. I mean, that's what that was. He could have addressed this in 20 different ways. He's Will Smith, after all. He could have humiliated and embarrassed Chris Rock in a number of ways. He didn't have to physically attack him. So my position as an attorney and as a professional, and I think any professional's position should be, it was just not right. It was highly emotionally driven, and it was not the approach to take. He should have dealt with it in many different ways, one of which was talk to Chris Rock after the fact. But let's come back a little bit more. He apologized today on Instagram. Granted, I don't know if he texted Chris Rock or he called him up or he met him face to face. Personally, I think that's weak. And now the third point, Chris Rock. This guy deserves an Oscar for the way he handled that situation. Because that took more than acting to hold his cool together. I mean, it was shocking. Get smacked in the face by a guy that's, 6'2", 6'3", all right? Probably didn't feel very good. On camera, in front of millions of people, his family, his friends, and humiliated, and gets the F word thrown at him, and literally moves seamlessly. And that is what you call professionalism. So we have a real good yin-yang to sort of juxtaposition what it means to be a professional. And I think Chris Rock wins the day on this. He is absolutely the professional. And like I said, the guy deserves an Oscar award for how he handled getting smacked in the face. And the bottom line for all professionals, whether you're a lawyer, whether you're an actor, an aspiring actor, influencer, whatever you are, you have to remember that your mind has to be greater than your emotions. There is a place for emotions, but you can't explode like that in any setting. You just can't. You have to use it instead as a weapon. You have to use it to develop some sort of strategy in dealing with the situation, but you absolutely can't physically attack somebody. That's like the lowest level of intelligence. It's the lowest level of dealing with an issue, is to physically attack somebody. You can't. And again, there's people that are applauding Will Smith, saying he's defending his family and this and that. Again, you can defend your family. I'm not saying the joke was great. It was in poor taste. But to run on stage and assault somebody is plain wrong. It's plainly wrong. Will Smith should have checked a different avenue. I'm really curious to see what comes out of this in terms of the interactions between Chris, interactions between Will Smith and these third parties, the Oscars. The hilarious part about all of this, to the extent there's comedy in here, is the guy literally 10 minutes later, Will Smith, got an award and won, right? He won an Oscar, and he gets up and clearly he's emotional, and he's talking about love and peace and overcoming, the human element. I'm like, dude, you just literally assaulted somebody. So anyway, we're all human. We're all flawed. We all make mistakes. Will could have handled this differently. He should have handled it differently. And it's a great lesson to learn to always keep your composure, no matter what the situation is. That is the difference between a professional and an amateur. Professionals can hold it together. Amateurs can't. That is why we call them professionals and amateurs amateurs. You can't play in the big leagues if you're all about grunt and brute force and beating people up. Even in the UFC, there's a level of professionalism. You don't throw a punch at somebody during the weigh-in. You don't. It doesn't matter how strong you are. It doesn't matter what your likelihood of winning is going to be. Those are things you just don't do. So anyway, I don't want to repeat myself, but I'm curious to hear your thoughts. My personal opinion, again, lack of professionalism, completely barbaric, completely humiliated himself. There were other ways to stand up for Jada and stand up for your family. This was not the way to do it. And if you didn't hear me say it, I'm going to say it again, probably for the third time. Always be a professional. Professionals put their feelings aside and think with their mind. There's a place for passion. Physical altercations are not the place. Rais Muhammad here. Please leave your comments, drop your questions, let me know what you think, and we'll keep you updated as we keep our eyes on this issue.